it may not be as bad as it looked, or not necessarily that it even looked. More that it was even discussed. I mean, the injury itself didn't look like it was overly intense, but it was at all the stuff that came out after that. He needed a wheelchair.
Yeah, right.
To lead, he had to be wheeled out in a wheelchair, and that was, if you're a Lakers fan or just been following Anthony Davis's career and an Anthony Davis fan, anytime there's an injury, you're nervous. But when you hear wheelchair and things like that, which I believe, Brandon, is that, I mean, I don't know how it works in the NFL, but if you get a concussion or any type of head injury, is the wheelchair just kind of like protocol so you don't have to walk?
Well, we do the golf cart, right?
Well, yeah, the golf cart, right? Okay, we don't have the golf cart in basketball, but like the wheelchair, I would assume that's just like
but
protocol.
But they didn't put him in a wheelchair, did
No, they said that he had to be wheeled out in a wheelchair.
Right, so...
and some people were saying it's just protocol.
It's not, well, in the NFL, it's not protocol, right? Because we've seen guys sustain a head injury, go into the tent, be tested, walk out, get into a golf cart, or walk into the locker room, right, for more tests. So I don't think that's protocol. I mean, here's what it is, Ashley.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm about to say. You know
I don't, but I'm scared.
NBA players are soft.
Whoa.
Like, come on, think about that. Like, you got to be willed to the back. And you don't even have a hit. You don't even. Draymond Green actually is more of a football player than anything. Remember, Draymond Green, was it the same game where was that the same? That wasn't the same game. Maybe it was the game before where Draymond fell and hit his head. I thought Draymond was concussed. Was that the same game or was it the game before?
I think it was the game before.
The game before, and he got up and finished the game and actually came in and had that sweet behind the back play layup. And I'm saying that because he's on the other end of the spectrum than Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, shout out to Anthony Davis for this postseason run that he's having. But this is what we expect, right? You fall, and then you get wheeled out, and it's like you don't finish the game, but you have other examples.
So are you willing to look into the camera right now and say that NBA players are soft? Because I disagree, but I
disagree?
You think NBA players are soft?
They're worse than soccer players.
They play 82 games a season.
That's endurance. That has nothing to do with toughness. That has nothing to do with toughness. I'm talking about he get hit in his face, right? And then he's like, he's doing this. And then you can't finish the game. You got 7 minutes left in this game. I don't know if he thought the game was over because they were down by like 12 or 13.
Down by 13 at the time.
At 13 at the time. And he's like, you know what? Braun and them got it. Like, but that's not the attitude that you want. Yes, and I can look into the camera right now and say that NBA players are soft. They are. Now, is there some... yes, NBA players are soft. And I had this conversation so many times. I don't care who sits on their show. Any NBA player, you can bring it up and I'll say it to them. Facts. We literally go across the middle, get smacked by a dude going 20 miles per hour, knees twisted, head hit the ground, and bounce right up and go to the next play. You don't think am I wrong here?
I mean, I feel like the sport, is more dangerous. Some people may say that you have to be not all mentally there to play football. Why would you willingly play a sport that gets you smacked around every day you step on the field? That's insane. NBA players may be the smarter ones, not playing a sport that's as physical, not playing a sport that is as detrimental to their life after the sport, a sport that pays them a lot more money guaranteed. Some people may say they're smarter.
Well, that's not the debate. We're talking about tougher. And so that's not the debate. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. But the debate is if they're tougher. But look, Anthony Davis, hopefully he's okay. I read the same thing coming in where, early tests showed that it's more than likely not a concussion. And this is a really good thing for the Lakers because without AD, they don't have a chance.
With AD, sometimes his injuries or minor, major, whatever they may be, sometimes they tend to linger a little bit longer than I think that they probably should and affect him a little bit more than they probably should. And AD is the type of player I feel like that has a small kink in the neck in game 5 and in game 6, he still can't play the same way. Like he's just that kind of a player. So I feel like he may get timid in game 6. Like he may be spooked.
Right.
Yeah.
from getting. I feel like getting hit in the head in Game 5, just because of the type of player that AD is and what we have seen of him.
Yeah.
So
I feel like he will allow that to spook him
I
in
know.
Game
And knock
6.
him
That
off his
not
groove,
be
right?
and not be as physical.
man,
I feel like
that's
it
a problem.
happens.
I want to go back to this NBA versus NFL players being soft thing. I'm in the chat now.
Are they
Haven't been in the
are they
chat for a
agreeing with
couple of
you
days.
or?
No, I mean, there's some interesting comments here. You have Roe Jr. Roe, please comment where you're from. Would love to know more about you. But I disagree with Roe Jr. Roe
Okay.
Jr. says this, and this is exactly what you said. You don't have to as tough as most. We got to get your typing right, Roe.
Oh my
You don't have to
gosh.
as tough as most football players are, but it's wild to say professional athletes that play up to 82 games are soft. Shaking my head. We got to get the typing down.
Oh, so basically he's saying.
Yeah, I know it's what
Oh,
you said.
okay, yeah.
I'll say,
But
that's
hold
fine.
on. What does that have to do with toughness, right? Like, think about this, right? Anthony Davis falls, hits his head, or he gets hit in his
Let's
head.
not use AD. AD's like an anomaly. Like
That's
you're
where we're at.
using the worst
Right.
possible. Can I
I mean,
get like a
basketball
middle of the
players
road
probably hate
So
example?
AD, well, I gave you a good one. There was a contrast, right? The game before in the same series with Draymond Green, but AD gets hit in his head. All right, he goes out on a wheelchair. He doesn't return in one of the biggest games of his life. Okay, a football player gets hit in the head. Boom. He's fighting the coaches on the side for his helmet back. Think about that. Tua Tagovailoa is like, put me back in the game. No, Tua, you're about to die.
Whoa.
No, it's like,
I mean,
like I'm serious. What do you mean? Tua's like, I mean, I'm not making fun of it, but that's why, you know, coaches have to step in at times and protect their players. And a lot of times you see that there. So, Ro, I disagree with you. I disagree with Ashley.
What about players like Charles Oakley, Dennis Rodman,
Tough.
Kobe Bryant,
Tough.
LeBron
Ooh,
James,
I saw a video of Kobe Bryant.
Jimmy Butler? I mean, what
tearing
about
his rotator cuff and then finishing the game with his
Mm.
left hand? Y'all remember that? Y'all seen that? Ooh.
Julius Randle? I mean,
They're
Julius
still soft,
Julius was
though.
playing Julius was playing basketball yesterday with one eye. Not only
I tell
that,
you what.
but we've
One
seen
eye,
we-
Ashley, stop.
his
Now
eye
you
was-
dramatic as hell.
no, his eye was he looked like a boxer. His eye was literally shut. Not only that, but like let's not even forget when he sustained his ankle injury in the first series against Cleveland, and then again in game 1, I believe he walked back to the tunnel.
Listen, I
Like
think
he
they're-
wouldn't even allow his teammates to help him. He walked
can
back
I-
on his own
All
accord.
right, let me rephrase it.
There
all
are
right.
some.
They're softer. They're not soft. They're softer than football players.
I don't know if you can you say
All
that?
right, and you can't disagree with that statement.
They're
Yeah, that's a
softer.
good-
That's what that's crazy that you rephrased it that way, because I think that might have been a better way to phrase it. If
Yeah.
they're softer than football players, they might not be soft.
What
Because
makes them
if we're gonna use
softer?
if we're gonna use Anthony Davis to kind of represent basketball players, then yeah, basketball players. are soft.
Zion Williamson. Oh my
but
goodness.
nah, I mean,
Zion, like, what are we doing?
Okay, stop
Softer.
using the worst possible example to
they
make your
softer.
point.
They softer than football
Like,
players.
what?
Because you can't say they tougher. You can't say they tougher.
But
So
I think
if they're not
tough,
tougher, then therefore
I
they're
mean,
softer.
I think toughness though is like I don't feel like I feel like it's a case by case situation. I feel like there be tougher basketball players than there are football players, and vice versa. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
there'll be
more
exceptions.
individualized than it is as a group thing. Because let's be honest, wide receivers are brats. A lot of them are not super tough. No offense, Brandon, but y'all are brats. Like,
Brett.
yeah.
Wow.
Quarterbacks are spoiled. Like, just because, there are certain positions in football that may not be as tough as other positions.
I can't.
That are
I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you when you're right, and that's what I need people to
Are
understand.
quarterbacks not spoiled?
I wouldn't say spoiled.
Are they not
I
divas?
think wide receivers are more spoiled, like the star players. Football quarterbacks, like we walk into the locker room. You know this, Corey. We walk in the locker room knowing that everything's going to be given to them and made like sweet, because without them, it's hard for anything to go. You got to have like an exceptional defense, a crazy run game to have a chance without a quarterback. I don't like quarterbacks. They're not demanding anything. They just walk in and they just have this type of way about them, this type of energy. Wide receivers, we're coming in. Yo, I need my socks like this.
Yeah.
Yo, like bring this out here. I need my special water bottle with my juice. And then after practice, I got 3 people coming to work on my body.
Yeah.
So I would say that, wide receivers, really good wide receivers. Like, and I would say there's probably 7. And don't put me on the spot here and make me name them because I haven't done the work, right? But there's only really 7 true number ones. Like when I say number 1 wide receiver, like I'm saying you're a dog. Mm-hmm. You're a Stephon Diggs. You're a Devontae Adams. You got 32 teams, so they say you got 32 number ones. No, not everyone is equal, okay? But those 7 or 8 dogs, they get whatever they want when they walk in the building. And when you don't, when your play dip, bye, peace, right? Like Antonio Brown, for example, right? Yeah. It's like Terrell Owens. It's like when your production starts dipping a little bit, it's easier for them to say, all right, we're going to move on because they don't want to deal with all of that stuff.